Hi, everybody. My name is Kelsey Mack, and I am your child's Algebra 1 teacher this year. I also teach Math 7, so I have 2 courses of Math 7 and 2 courses of Algebra 1. My email, if you need to know it, is kmack@hcps.us. And just letting you know about my remediation times, every teacher has one. Mine is Tuesday afternoons from 3:45 to 4:15 with prior notice. So your student does need to let me know before they come. If that time doesn't work for them or afternoons don't work for them, just shoot me a Schoology message or email and we can come up with a better time. So just some things about my course this year. The supplies for every single day is something to write with. I prefer pencils, a charged Chromebook for their Desmos calculator. If they don't have their Chromebook, they will not have a calculator, and a dry erase marker. We do a lot of whiteboard practice, so if they have their own marker, it's helpful. Lastly is some form of organization, so somewhere that they put all of their materials. I don't mind if it's a binder or a folder or a notebook, just some way for them to keep organized. If they need help organizing, I'm happy to help, but I don't like to say it's one thing because some people work better with different things. Optional things are colors, lined paper, scissors and glue, and a highlighter. We do use those occasionally, but I do have extras in my classroom, so if they don't have them one day, they're not going to be at a loss. So we are in algebra this year. How fantastic. The first 3 topics we will be doing in the first 9 weeks. So right now we are talking about expressions. We actually have a test coming up on expressions. This year we're taking a lot of stuff that they learned with Math 6 and 7 and 8 and adding to it. There will be some new stuff this year that they have not heard of. It is some big topics that are super important for the future for geometry, algebra 2, and trigonometry and on. So you can read the topics. If you have questions about them, you can ask. But every topic will have notes associated with it, so they will not just be learning by example. Our typical day, we start with a first five, which is new this year. We have no warm-ups. We are doing first fives to help the students gain some number sense. So with a regular warm-up, it's like review questions on the activity or notes that we did the day before. But a first five is more about mental math and figuring out the problem just in their head, no paper at all. So we're going to be working with number sense this year for our first 5 minutes of class. Then we'll talk about what we're doing for the day and the learning goals. We'll talk about what homework is or any assessments coming up. Learning goals are huge this year. It is my goal myself to make sure the students know what they should be learning throughout the day and the week. So we will always mention learning goals. Then I'll probably say some things like we'll do notes or we'll do a recap of what we learned the day before. And then the kids will have time to practice. Either that will be individual or with partners or a group. Lastly, we might do an exit ticket or just a recap of the day. Grading wise for algebra, it's the same all around the school, 10% for homework, 20% for classwork, 30% quizzes, and 40% tests and projects. They will have homework this year. It might not be every night, but when they do have homework, it's going to be short amounts of questions that are meaningful. So my whole thing with homework is if it's just 20 questions of rote practice, it's not super duper helpful. I like when students, go home and they figure out if they know it or not, and then they can ask questions in class. Our classwork is normally going to be with partners, or they can always ask questions, use their notes. So classwork should really be higher grades than maybe they were previously. Classworks are also typically things that are self-checking or fun activities like puzzles. Quizzes and tests will be in class. They will most likely just be on paper. Our tests will probably be on paper and a computer. They will always have Desmos for those because in algebra, all the topics are Desmos allowed. And I will say that my expectations for my algebra kids are a lot higher than my expectations for other classes. These students are here for a reason. They're our smarty kids, right? They are here in 7th grade doing huge things, and I want to push them. And so they'll see that with the grading that I do, but also the questions I ask. It'll be higher level thinking questions. So I do want to say, these kids all seem very well prepared for this class, but there will be days where they maybe think that, things aren't going well. My first quiz, I didn't get an A, and that's okay because it's a big learning curve in Algebra 1. This is a high school level class. It will go on their high school transcripts. So it will be challenging at times, but I know these kids have the drive and they do like challenges. So I think it'll be a good year for them. But if you do ever feel like they're being super challenged and not succeeding with that, we can talk about remediation or coming to me in flex class to have that remediation. So thank you for watching. Thank you for, participating in back to school night, even though it had to be virtual. I'm glad that you could watch my video. Once again, please just email me with any questions you have. I normally get back to people within 24 hours or less. And please reach out if you feel like your student could benefit from more remediation time, especially when those harder topics arise. That's all I have. If you have any questions that I didn't cover, please just email me. Your kids are amazing, and I hope you have a great rest of your night.